Ryerson, and I'm going to be doing my probe skill assessment today. So to start out, I have my armamentarium, which includes my PPE, and that is my mask, my eyewear. I would have a puffy on and gloves as well. I also have my Marquise probe, my mouth mirror, floss, and I will be talking also about the UNC probe and the neighbors probe. This is my Marquise probe. This probe is color coded and it's in 3mm increments. So it goes up to 3, 6, 9, and 12. This tool has a simple flexible shank that is circular in cross section and has a blunt rod tip that has no cutting edges. Okay, so the primary function of the periodontal probe is to measure the health of the periodontium. Other functions include measuring the clinical attachment loss or level, recession, width of attachment, bleeding, mucogingival relationships, size of intraoral and extraoral lesions, and to monitor the longitudinal response of periodontal treatment. Measure my recession on my dexter here. So my first measurement is going to be from the gingival margin to the CEJ. So for this, we're just going to say it's 4mm, and then I would do my probing depth, and let's say my probing depth is 2mm. So we would add 4 plus 2 to get the gingival margin back at its normal level, the CEJ. Next, I'm going to assess any frenal involvement. So by doing this, we would just pull around the lips and check the frenum as well as the lingual frenum. And we just want to make sure that the frenums aren't too tight, because that can actually cause a factor into recession as well. Okay, so next I'm going to be measuring my total width of attachment on my dexter here. So to do this measurement, you are going to measure from the gingival margin to the mucogingival junction. So for this, yeah, let's say we have 9mm for that measurement. And then we would do a probing depth. So let's say it's 6mm for the probing depth. So then we are going to do 9 minus 6mm. So then the total width of attachment will be 3mm. So we can check for any open contact areas, diastemas. We can measure those. We can always use the floss to see if there is any open contact areas or any food we get caught in there. Okay, so now I'm going to test mobility on a tooth and demonstrate how that is done. So you're going to use 2 blunt-ended objects. So I'm using the end of my mouth mirror and the end of my forceps here. So what you'll do here is you are just going to use those and rock the tooth back and forth. On the classifications of mobility, class 1, it's going to be going over how to measure furcation involvement. So I can't do that with my Marquise probe. You would actually use the neighbors probe to measure furcations. The furcation classifications, class 1 is when you can put your neighbors probe in and feel that a furcation is beginning, but you can't actually put your neighbors probe in more than 1mm. With class 2 is when you can start to put your neighbor's probe into the furcation, but it still can only go a little bit more than 1mm. With class 3 is when you can put your neighbor's probe through the furcation all the way to the other side. This will be shown on radiographs, but it will not be seen clinically yet. And with the last class is the same as class 3, except you can see clinically because there is. Okay, so I'm going to start with my probing. I'm going to start on tooth number 3. First, I'm going to ask my patient if they've had any previous periodontal treatment. So I'll just say, have you had gum disease before? Any scaling or planing treatment? And
Then I'm also going to ask the patient if they have any concerns with their gum health as of right now. So I'm going to first start probing tooth number 3. So I'm going to ask my patient to turn their head away from me. So we're all 3 on the facial side. And it looks like about a 5 in between. Slant once again.
Other function are to measure the power, tension loss or level, or gingival. I don't know how the diffusion is going to be, but it does look like you're reading up with something.
I'm going to do tooth number 20. Put them in the semi-supine. Shave down. Have my patient turn their head towards me. Have the patient look away from me. And I'm going to do
It is a simple, flexible shank, circular in cross section, and the working end is blue.
Okay, so that is the wrap up of my periodontal probe assessment, and I've maintained asepsis, and that is all. Thank you.